From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2303, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. We begin this week with deadly tornadoes that devastated homes and lives recently in Kentucky and nearby states.
Skywarn nets were activated across much of the central United States from Friday evening into early Saturday, December 10th and 11th, as a tornado outbreak of unprecedented proportion tore through Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, Ohio, and Tennessee. Christine Welgus, warning coordination meteorologist for the National Weather Service in Paducah, Kentucky, which covers one of the hardest hit areas, reported that their Skywarn desk was manned by two local amateurs, Gary Wheatley, KD4 GCY, and Jeff Estes, KM4 LDP. The Skywarn linked repeater system across Arkansas was also active throughout the night. At least 50 tornado reports were received by the NWS during the evening. Of the four strongest tornadoes reported in western Kentucky, the largest was tracked for over 200 miles on the ground. At least 88 people are known to have perished across 5 states. The highest impact was in Kentucky, where the death toll stands at 74, with an age span from 2 months to 98 years of age. There are reports that approximately 100 people are still unaccounted for. Early estimates of damages and economic losses have ranged into the billions of dollars. ARES and other amateur emergency resources across the area are still ready to go should additional communication support be needed. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Randy Sly, W4XJ.
Radio operators on both sides of the Atlantic marked two big moments in radio history.
Members of the Marconi Radio Club of Newfoundland and the Poldhu Amateur Radio Club in Cornwall, England, paid tribute to Marconi's first experimental radio transmission across the Atlantic. The Newfoundland amateurs contacted the Poldhu radio operators, marking the 12th of December 1901, the day Marconi first heard a transatlantic transmission, Morse code for the letter S, sent from Cornwall to Cabot Tower in Canada. There was even more excitement, however. The previous day in Ardrossan, Scotland, amateurs there received a duplicate of a message sent 100 years earlier from the US on amateur radio frequencies in the shortwave spectrum. Shortly after the reenactment of the 11th of December 1921 transmission got underway in Connecticut, however, the replica of the 1BCG transmitter failed and went off the air. The replica, built for the 75th anniversary of the transatlantic tests, had been restored earlier this year by the Antique Wireless Association in Bloomfield, New York. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
It's a Christmas ham radio tradition. Fire up the HF rig, gather the children, and let the little ones talk to the big guy up north.
The Santa Net, hosted by the hams of the 3916 Nets, is back on the air in the United States through December 24th. Radio operators are providing youngsters with this on-air opportunity to let Santa know what their top 2 or 3 gift wishes are. Hams are asked to please remember to ensure the contact is in compliance with all FCC rules and regulations governing third-party traffic. Check-ins start at 7 p.m. Central Time on 80 meters. You can also reserve a spot by visiting the website www.cqsanta.com, where you will find videos of past Q shows with Santa. Meanwhile, on Echolink, the 11th annual Santa Watch Net will take place on Christmas Eve on the Do Drop In channel starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. As the 4-hour net gets underway, Dave at N3NTV will be using NORAD radar to track Santa. For details, visit the website dodropin.net.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Randy Sly, W4XJ, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Stephen Kinford, N8WB, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. Our wishes for a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.